In this video, we are going to look at the time log functionality from the student's perspective inside TK20, specifically how it could be used for PD1 and PD2 in the internship and mentor-teacher log hours that they do during those classes. So I am in the training database, and I am logged in again as a student right now. So from the student's perspective, what they do is they go to home, and then there's this time log. So anytime they go to record time, it brings them to a time log entry place. Now I have this for both social work and also urban education. I've put in several hours so we can look at the differences. But let me filter just for urban education, so we're just looking at what I have for that. So I went in and just put in some fake entries between May 12th through May 19th. To put and create a new entry, I'll create one from this morning. The student would go create a new entry. They would select urban education and PD1. The reason I have two options is because I am associated with multiple programs. But when the student is, the program that they have is any of the programs inside UE, they will only have this option. So students will not have multiple options on their screen. And PD1, we could add PD2 here. We could create anything different to the different time logs and activities you want. So the student selects where they're going to record the time. Then they're going to enter in who the reviewer is going to be for their timesheet. This can be a mentor teacher. This can be a faculty member. This could be a staff member inside university. What's really great about time logs is the reviewer does not have to ever log into TK20 to get this information. So I'm going to show you how that looks like in a second. Then I'm going to select the date and say I was there from 8 a.m. I'll tap through to 10:30 this morning, and I'm going to hit create. Now this here has created a timesheet for me, and the timesheet that it has created reads exactly what I put in. So this morning I was there from 8 until 10:30. I was there for 2.5 hours. It is not submitted yet for PD1. I am the reviewer, and that's the time log. So now that I have submitted, or I've submitted several, some are pending approval, some have been approved. But if I want to approve these and send them off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the ones that have not been submitted yet, and I'm going to hit submit for approval. It's going to say, are you sure you want to submit them? So I can submit them all at one time. I say, yes, I submitted it. And now if we look, it's going to say that they are pending approval. So anytime a student creates the time log, the individual who the reviewer is going to get an email that's going to look like this. And it says the student has submitted one or more time logs, time log for Richard, and it's going to pull up a separate sheet. So again, I do not have to be a staff member. I do never have to log into TK20. If I have multiple students, it's going to pull up here so I can go to different people, and the flag tells me that there is some pending time logs for me. So here we go. So here's all the ones that have been submitted and a pending approval. You see I've already approved some of them this morning as I was putting this together. Now if I'm the reviewer, I go and I say, yep, we worked at that time. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, that looks good here. So I'll approve those. Well, this one here, I don't remember. On the 12th, it happened to be a day that we were sick, so I don't think that that's going to work. So instead of approving it, I'm going to click on the entry, and you could do this with any of them, hit reject. As soon as I hit reject, and you were not at the school this day due to a event at UHD. So the reviewer can go and put those on there and submit those back. So that is what the reviewer does, and that is all the reviewer does. Now back on, I head back into TK20 and refresh this. I forgot, did not hit the refresh button. Let me log back in real quick. All right. So if I go back into the time log, that was a error by me by hitting one of these here. So now we go and we see that we have multiple entries here that are approved, and we have one that's rejected. If I want to see which one's rejected, I can click on it, and then that "No, you were not at school this day due to an event at UHD" shows right there on the message for me. I can go back and I can resubmit it, or I can re-update it, or I can just hit cancel and get out of the timeline. So that's number one. Here's the other pieces of this which are really, really cool from a student perspective. At any time, I have a dashboard option here next to entries where I can go through, and for my urban education for PD1, I've already put in that it was 60 hours is what I needed. And at a time, any time, a student can come in here and say, well, oh, I've had 46 hours approved, I've had 2 hours rejected, I have not logged 12 of my hours. So if we ever have students that say, how many hours do I have? How many of this? What is going on? How many are approved? How many are still pending? We see that there's time here. In addition, I'm going to open up the social work one to show you another one. Is if I have time that I have created but I have not submitted yet. Well, I've done the entries but they're not submitted, and so this is a really neat feature for the students can see. The last thing that I want to show you real quick is I'm going to jump back to the Unit Administrator tab and go to Reports. And so if we ever want to see how students are doing on the reports, it is very easy for us to click through and select. I'm going to go to the urban education one. That is fine. We'll select all, unselected programs. I'm going to select all just to grab everything. And the report that it gives me here on the data display is fantastic. I'm the only one that have entered anything for the urban education, but it will show the student's name, it'll show how many hours have not submitted, any pending approval, it will show me hours approved, hours rejected, total hours logged, and total hours remaining. So if we have a lot of students and we want to see how people are kind of in a snapshot, we can run that complete for the urban education program and look at the program there. So it's a really neat feature inside TK20. It's fairly easy for the students. It's easy for us on the back end to look to see what students have done. If you want some more information about this program, what it looks like, please let me know and I'd be happy to